A Crown Jewel 2024 is officially in the books. So with that being said, let's look at all the things that weren't supposed to happen at WWE Crown Jewel 2024. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. But now let's head into our first botch, as number 1, Cathy Kelley almost breaks. Now on the Crown Jewel pre-show, Kevin Owens discussed how he was in a buggy accident, and Owens brought humor to the situation by claiming that either Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes paid the driver off to cause the accident. Now upon saying this, Cathy Kelley looked like she was about to break character and laugh. The WWE production team clearly recognized this as the camera began to zoom in on Owens to avoid showing Kelley up close. Number 2, Jimmy Uso misses his cue. Now, the opening contest of the Crown Jewel 2024 saw the original Bloodline led by Roman Reigns take on the new Bloodline led by Solo Sikoa. The match served as a perfect prelude to the inevitable War Games showdown, but there was a major botch in the match that had fans talking. As Sikoa hit a devastating Samoan spike on Reigns, the planned spot was supposed to see Jimmy Uso break up the pin. Unfortunately, this didn't go to plan, as Jimmy missed his cue. This meant that the referee just seemingly stopped his count before Jimmy even got in the ring. WWE even tried to disguise this thanks to their elite camera work, but even still, a strong majority of the fans noticed this massive botch. As 6-man tag matches can be extremely chaotic, and it's likely that Jimmy just got lost in the moment. Thankfully, the names involved were able to recover well, and the planned finish went ahead as scheduled. Come to think of it, 2024 has had a lot of 3-count botches. Number 3, Hala Kick. At the post-match angle for the Bloodline vs Bloodline saw Sami Zayn reinsert himself into the Bloodline saga. The spot in question saw Solo Sikoa looking primed for a beatdown in the middle of the ring, but when Zayn went for his Hala Kick, he accidentally hit Reigns square in the mouth. This has led to fans questioning Zayn, as a Hala Kick is usually hit in the corner, so in theory, Zayn was going for a traditional big boot. Has Zayn even ever hit his trademark finisher in any other position? It was a unique spot to say the very least, but that was not a Hala Kick. Number 4, a botched German suplex. Io Sky rarely botches in her matches, yet there was a noticeable mishap with a German suplex during the multi-women tag titles match. Sky would attempt a bridging German on Bianca Belair, but the positioning was off, so the bridge was virtually impossible. It also looked like Sky had a horrific landing. Hopefully Sky is okay, as she was able to continue wrestling after the spot, so current signs are positive. Now, this wouldn't be the only time that Sky would botch in the match, as when Jakara Jackson was sitting prone in the corner, she was supposed to ascend over Kairi Sane and perform a move. However, she slipped. The commentary team would address the botch directly by stating that it was a rare miscommunication from Sky and Sane. Number 5, a botched bicycle kick. Jade Cargill continues to gradually improve in the ring, yet she is still delivering a botch or two in every featured PLE match. During Crown Jewel, Cargill went for a bicycle kick and she completely missed it. It looked horrendous, and it's definitely a move that Cargill should look to remove from her moveset. The botch looked even worse because Lash Legend took a bump despite Cargill not making any contact whatsoever. The fact that Legend took the bump made it look like Cargill delivered the move correctly, but this simply isn't what happened. Cargill has other styles of kicks in her arsenal, and these are rarely botched, so it may have been in her best interest if the other kicks are prioritized over the bicycle kick. Number 6, a rough landing. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson had a great showing in the aforementioned match, but they were lucky that one spot didn't result in an injury to Kairi Sane. Sane would be thrown onto Legend's shoulders and then she would be flipped into a powerbomb. Sadly, Jackson's timing was completely off. Nevertheless, Sane managed to land perfectly. The spot was rather ambitious and would have been hard to execute without a hitch. Legend and Jackson have greatly impressed since their inclusion on the main roster programming, and both women have stepped up and made their presence felt in the women's tag division. It's unknown if they are set for a full-time main roster call-up, or the main roster appearances are just serving to add depth to the main roster women's tag division and subsequently cross-promote the NXT brand on the CW network. Number 7, Seth Rollins' Laceration. One of the noticeable things about Seth Rollins during his match with Bronson Reed was his laceration. Early on, it became apparent that Rollins had suffered a deep laceration on his back. It appears that this surfaced during the opening brawl between the two men. At first, it looked like the cut was bleeding heavily, however, as the match went on, the bleeding stopped, and it didn't appear to be causing the former WWE Champion too much difficulty. Number 8, Bronson Reed's Laceration. Speaking of lacerations, Bronson Reed also suffered a serious laceration. When Seth Rollins delivered a curb stomp onto Reed onto the steel steps, it looked like Reed took a brutal bump, and this led to his eye being busted open. It's unclear if this was a planned spot, but whatever the case is, it was a great visual and certainly added to Reed's monstrous presentation. Rollins' victory came as somewhat of a surprise, as some fans were of the belief that Reed would win and be propelled into the main event picture. However, with confirmation that Rollins will be involved in an upcoming world title contenders matchup, then it's possible that WWE wants to keep Rollins as strong as possible. It's also possible that the feud between the two isn't over, as a rematch between the two would act as a solid addition to the Survivor Series War Games card at the end of the calendar month. Number 9. Nia Jax waits for the interference. At the final moments of Nia Jax vs Liv Morgan saw numerous names interfere, and as Jax was about to perform the Annihilator on Morgan, she had to wait for Raquel Rodriguez to kick her off the ropes. Rodriguez took a few seconds too long to perform her planned spot, and this left Jax in a weird predicament, as she looked kind of ridiculous. This was surprisingly the only notable botch in the match, which comes as a surprise mainly because of the amount of bodies involved in the interference spots in the match, so all the names involved deserve a ton of credit for making the match run smoothly. Number 10. Cody Graves. Whenever Michael Cole makes a botch on commentary, he's prone to referencing it directly by making a joke out of the situation. During Crown Jewel, as US champion LA Knight made his entrance, Cole hilariously referred to his broadcast colleague Corey Graves as Cody. Cole then stated that it's easy to get confused between two of his best friends, obviously referring to the WWE champion Cody Rhodes. In the old era of WWE, Cole would have no doubt been ridiculed by Vince McMahon for making a botch of this nature. Thankfully, under the leadership of Triple H, Cole is free to make mistakes, and this gives the show and the commentary a more organic, less contrived feeling when fans have reacted extremely positively towards it. Number 11. LA Knight slips. LA Knight's mortal enemy is the ropes, as whenever he botches a move, it's usually down to him slipping on the ring ropes. During Crown Jewel, Knight attempted to jump onto the ropes and he slipped. Knight is truly cursed with this specific spot, but he always manages to recover extremely well and proceed into the planned spot. Number 12. Andrade lands on LA Knight's head. A moonsault of any kind should land on the wrestler's stomach or chest region, and the head should be avoided at all costs. During Crown Jewel, Andrade landed his trademark standing moonsault and his knees went directly on LA Knight's head. This spot is quick paced, and if the timing is even slightly off, then Andrade is going to land in an awkward position, and this was the case here unfortunately. Now this could have resulted in a significant injury, but Knight was okay, and the match was arguably the match of the night based on fans' reactions. This match received "This is awesome" chants throughout, and some fans are even campaigning for the WWE to run it back on an upcoming edition of SmackDown or even at Survivor Series. The match was a true breakout moment for Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, who have both been highlights on SmackDown for months now. As for Knight, his US title reign continues to impress, and his popularity hasn't dipped one bit since he captured the title from Logan Paul at SummerSlam. And did WWE spoil Cody Rhodes' win? Cody Rhodes is a new Crown Jewel champion, and some fans believe that the WWE spoiled Rhodes' win before the match. In the graphic for the post-Crown Jewel show, it looked like Rhodes had the new title on his shoulder. Whilst the title was indeed present in the graphic, it's hard to make out if the title was just wedged between a render of Rhodes and Gunther, as there was a line separating the respective images. One way to tell would be if the WWE used that exact render for Rhodes when advertising his win, and if they do, then we all know that WWE spoiled their blockbuster main event. But there you have it folks, moments that weren't supposed to happen at Crown Jewel. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.